Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Certainly excited to talk to you about the 2020 season and our team. Notably here with Kenzi Maguire. If you don't know Kenzi, you can Google her. She's responsible for a lot of our ESPN top plays on the internet, so you can check her out. But this is going to be a great season for us. If you followed us this fall, we were very injured, and so I've been relieved to have great weather. We had a week of preseason practice before school started, and it is so nice to have everybody on the team healthy and out there on the field. So we've had a lot of fun here these first 10 practices. But if I'm cliff noting the season for you, we're certainly going to be senior led. Notably, I have 3 graduates for the first time. Kenzi Maguire and Mac Bosel are both in graduate school right now, and Lauren Stewart graduated for us in December. So that's special too. But we're going to be senior led, and we've got 4-year starters and Mac Bosel and Kenzi Maguire in the middle. I would say the strongest middle in the conference. They have been playing together for 4 years, and they're really fun to watch. KK Drotar is a senior for us. Hartsville, South Carolina. You've heard about her a lot because she's done so much for us in the circle, and then she does it for us at the plate as well. So you don't see many pitchers today batting 3-4 in the lineup and pitching 20 games for you. So KK has been a special player for us. And then Lauren Stewart, who had a great season last year. She really held down center field for us. She holds our stolen base numbers. She's the speed for us on the team. And she's also recovered, and I expect her to have a great senior campaign. But other notables, Jana Johns is exciting to watch. I think she's going to have a breakout season. She's a junior for us, starts at third base. She was an all-conference player last season. She returns, so that makes our infield very special. And then at first base, we've got Madison Owen, who returns, and also a transfer in Cassidy Krupit. She transferred in from Baylor, and I would expect her to be a starter in the lineup for us as well. I think for us, figuring out the outfield is going to be the question mark. A lot of our freshmen got some experience. Hannah Kumiyama, Alyssa's younger sister, had a great fall for us. She offers some power. She worked out in left field. We've got Haley Simpson, who's a slapper for us, offers some speed and some offensive diversity. And then I would say my notable player from the fall is going to be Katie Preble. She was a transfer last year, and she came back a different player. She's healthy, strong. She's gotten faster. She's taken a lot of reps for us in the outfield. And if she's not in the outfield, I would expect her to be in the DP spot. But she, like I said, has come back, and it will contribute for this team. So the other couple things behind the plate, we've got Anna Vest and Jordan Fabian. They split time last year, and they're both doing a great job. And I'll be able to decide based on offensive who's going to be behind the plate for us. But we've got 2 great options there. And then, of course, everyone wants to know what's happening in the circle. So for us, Kelsey O is healthy this season. So junior Kelsey O will be back. As you know, she was an all-SEC freshman selection and was injured last season. And it has been really nice to have a healthy Kelsey O on the mound. She's throwing the ball hard, and I think she'll be ready to get after it this year. So Kelsey O and KK Drotar, who I mentioned earlier, will be our anchors in the circle. And then after that, I've got a lot of options with 2 freshman arms. Bailey Bettenbaugh, who's a South Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year, who has a great changeup. She's a kid similar to KK that can throw a changeup in any count, and that's always exciting for the pitch caller. And then Carson Oakes, who really had a nice fall for us. She does a great job commanding the zone, and she'll be a nice option for us. And then I return Carly Heath, who won 8 games for us last year. She's similar to KK in that she hits and pitches, but she was an 8-game winner in the circle for us. I expect to see her on the mound. She's doing some good things, and her bat can be dangerous at the plate as well. And then Rachel Vaughn is my resident lefty, so it's nice with all the lefties we'll see in a lineup that we could throw a lefty pitcher against some of our opponents. So that's kind of the cliff notes on the team. We've got some exciting things happening for the season. one of which will host 3 tournaments at Beckham Field, preseason tournaments, and then we travel to Clearwater for the ESPN Invitational. So I mentioned that because I think it's pretty neat that softball is going to be on TV in February. It's basketball season, and ESPN's putting softball on TV. So we're one of the teams that were invited, and we're excited to be at that tournament. We've got some great matchups there. We'll play Washington on Saturday night. It'll be an ESPN game, as well as Virginia Tech, Kansas, and James Madison, I believe. So we're going to face some good opponents at that tournament. That'll be some exciting softball in February. And then we will host the first ever game against Clemson in April. And we're excited about that. I think it's great for the student athletes to be able to have that experience, to have the rivalry, the Clemson rivalry, and get that started. So we'll do that in April at Beckham Field. And then for our fans, as you've seen on social media and Twitter, we have a brand new video board that we're extremely excited about. And I want to thank Coach Tanner and our administration for their support. I think it just says a lot about how the administration feels about softball and the importance they put on championship experience for both the student athletes and the fans. So I think that's something for people really to be excited about with Carolina softball this year.
Bev, just looking at it, you said it's a senior-led team. You've had a lot of experience back from the past 2 years. Do you look at this year as saying, like, this is the best shot to get to Oklahoma City, or do you even think of that at all going into it?
Sure. That's our goal every season. We want to end the season in Oklahoma City. But I feel great about this team. One, for me, it's an enjoyable group just to go in the locker room and work with every day because of, and I attribute that to the seniors. They've really come in and set the work ethic and change the culture, and that's something I'm really proud about. I'm going to tell a Kenzi Maguire story. Kenzi Maguire didn't speak when she was a freshman. She just played ball. And now to look at her here 4 or 5 years later, leading the team, how she communicates, and I really think the seniors have left their mark in terms of work ethic and the expectation of winning and championship play. So I think the expectation is there. They know what it's like to host now at home. We want to do that again. We certainly want to win the regional and end the season in Oklahoma City. So we do talk about it, and I think we've got the team that can compete for it.
I want to hear Kenzi speak. So first chance to be a part of the Clemson rivalry. What does that mean to you and your teammates?
Being able to play Clemson is a huge deal for us because we see all the other teams go and have this just want to win against Clemson, and we haven't really had that. We'll go to the football games or the baseball games, and we see how they're so excited to play this rivalry, and we're really excited that it's finally able to do that for us.
Bev, you mentioned Jana a little bit. What makes her special, both offensively and defensively? And I don't know if you would use the word underrated, but what does she have to do to take her game to the next level and not just be noticed on the SEC level, but nationally as well?
Well, I hope for her this is a breakout season for her. Is just a vacuum at third base. She's got a strong arm. I think we've turned more double plays since Jana's been in the infield. And I think for her, it's going to be the offensive side of the ball. She offers just a lot of power for us. She's a true athlete and really can do anything. So I think this could be a breakout season for her in terms of maybe national recognition. But, we try to keep things simple and make it about the Gamecocks. And Jana is the perfect team player for that, but I hope that she'll be recognized both SEC and nationally as well.
Bev, at this point of the year, would you rather be trying to figure out your outfield or your infield? Obviously, you have one kind of solidified right now, but as a coach, where do you feel more comfortable with if one has a question mark?
Well, I think our infield is pretty locked down. The nice thing is we've got a lot of options. So, for example, Maddie Owens played a lot of first base for us last year. She split time with Alyssa Kumiyama. This year, I think, and we talk about talent's flexible. And so Maddie Owens may start taking some reps in the outfield. She's got the speed and the arm to do it. So we're looking at a few different things for the outfield, but I feel like our infield is pretty solidified.
Coach, just listening to you talk, it sounds like you have a great deal of confidence in this group, and it means a lot to have that opportunity in February to play Washington in that tournament. From where this program started to where it is now, to have this type of stage to play on, host tournaments, regionals, preseason tournaments, and those things, now going against Washington in this tournament, just what does all this success mean to you?
Sometimes it's amazing. I look back and 10 years has gone fast. This is my 10th season, and only a few people really know how far we've come in the 10 years. But I look back and I'm so proud of that. So, sometimes when I was watching the video board go up, and I really did, I had to pinch myself because we're so thankful for that. And I know in our conference it seems like everyone has a big video board, but most people around the country don't. And I pinched myself thinking how lucky we are that South Carolina supports their student athletes and our players, and we'll have this great experience. So we've watched a new stadium be built for softball. We've hosted the regionals. We've had the SEC tournament here. There's been a lot of great things, and it shows in our student athletes, the experiences they're able to have. Our recruiting's going really well. And so for me, I step back and I'm very proud of the growth and very proud of what our student athletes have been able to do as well.
Coach, you mentioned Katie Preble. What are you kind of looking out to see from her, Carly Heath, Madison Owens, players in their second year here?
Yeah, I think looking at those players that you mentioned specifically, those are the players that we need to have come out and have breakout seasons, right? Katie Preble is going to come back and make a difference. At least she has shown that in the fall. Carly Heath has plenty of potential to come out and do the same thing. And that's what I want. I want those players to come out and have big years so that our seniors can relax and do what they do and just go play. Kennedy Clark and Dixie Rayleigh, for me, were an example of that last season. They both had amazing senior seasons. And they just went out and played, and I want that for our seniors. We certainly have the talent in the senior class. So if these underclassmen just step up and play ball, I think it'll take the pressure off our seniors to have to do that too.
Kenzi, how important is it to have the same double play partner for 3 or 4 years, and what kind of chemistry have you and Mackenzie developed during that time?
So that's really helped us because you know exactly what they're thinking before they even think it. So, if she's going to go do a glove flip instead of a regular flip, I already know that because we've done it so many times in practice. And then being able to do that for 4 years now has just made us, we laugh because we'll roll a double play and it's like we knew it was coming before it even happened.
Bev, you touched on it a little earlier, but going into year 10, we look back on year 1, you're inheriting a team, I think that was 11-40. Do you think about that year a lot, how far you've come, and then as you go forward, what's the one thing that still kind of drives at you the most going forward?
Wow, I do. I think about that group. We had a great group of young ladies, and they worked so hard that year. The first couple years were very challenging, but also very enjoyable. And we talk about having a growth mindset. And we talk about that all the time, and that hasn't changed for 10 years. And so to be able to see just the constant improvement in the program and everything go on the incline for me, it's what I preach to the team about, just growth mindset and never settling and always just trying to create this culture of excellence. And I'm just seeing kind of the fruits of our labor pay off. And like I said, you have players in graduate school. We've had some success on the field, and now we're seeing it too with just recruiting and just excitement and things that are going on for us right now. So it's really a great time to be a Gamecock. What'd you say?
What's the one thing that still drives you going forward?
Just to keep I think for me, it's part of my nature. I'm just never content with that. It's that love of learning and growing and always improving.
Kenzi, for you, you hear Coach talk about the expectations for this team. They're pretty high. So how does your senior class help the younger players understand how to embrace those expectations to try to achieve those lofty goals you guys set for yourself now?
So when they arrive in the fall, the freshmen especially, we focus on the goals for the year. So we'll talk about where we want to be. Obviously, that's Oklahoma City, as she's mentioned already. And then from there, we just talk about how we keep going by inches. So the game's played by seconds and inches, and we focus on like all the little things and the little details that we have to do each day. So it's not necessarily like we have to win Oklahoma City, but it's we have to win this pitch, we have to win this day, and that's the only way that we're going to get better to be able to win Oklahoma City.
Bev, you talked about Kelsey, her injuries last year. How difficult was it to see her go through that? We know she's someone who likes to work out nonstop all day, every day. How difficult was it to see her struggle last year, and what do you think is the reason she'll bounce back this season?
Well, I think Kelsey's done a great job just preparing both her body and her mind. I think that's always a challenge for athletes who are injured, coming back and the doubt that creeps into your mind. Are you ready? Are you good enough? Are you healed? And I think Kelsey's done a great job healing physically and mentally. So she's done a great job. And we had the fall. You know, she really came out and had an outstanding fall and hasn't stopped since then. So she's throwing harder than she did last year. Like I said, she's healthy, and she's going to be fun to watch on the mound.
Coach, you're a big fan of, getting your big bats in the lineup. With such a deep team, how are you going to try and manage your lineup to get everyone's bat in the lineup?
Yeah, that's a problem I have to deal with, I guess. I only get 10 spots to write names in on the lineup, but I have a lot of options. And you're right. You followed us enough to know that your bat keeps you in our lineup, and I think that just speaks to the competitive nature of the SEC, and we've got to be able to score runs. So for us, I like that I have some options. I think we'll be able to make some matchups based on the type of pitcher that we're facing that day and who's hot. But that'll be certainly the challenge for me. But I like the depth that we have and the different choices we'll be able to make on game day.
Anything else? Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Good. Thank you, everyone, for coming.